Hello and welcome back to the Metamystic Show. Last night my guides were talking to me about a hex. So I want to uncover what that's about. I was asking them 1,000 questions. What is this hex? Like who is this happening to? How long has it been going on? Like what's in, is this a contract? What's in this contract? And yeah, exactly. They're like, no, we want you to do it live on camera. So here we are. They wouldn't let me know for myself. They're like, we want to unpack this with everybody in the room. See, and that could be part of it. It's like, it's giving intervention with the devil. I mean, for some here, it could literally be like some sort of an intervention, like drugs, alcohol, like somebody, like everybody's gathering in the room. But I am getting this as more of like a karmic thing with the devil. And they literally gave me the word hex. I said to my guides, I'm like, I don't believe in hexes. Like, I don't really believe in, like, curses and hexes. And I know that sometimes I say that stuff on the channel. This is what I actually believe in. I say those words because we know what we're saying. And if I just say karmic contract, I feel like that gets thrown around so much that people are just kind of, like, bored with it. They don't think it's that big of a deal. But what I'm seeing here, this hex thing, when we hear the word hex, we're like, hex, curse. I did a reading yesterday that talked about the end, like you've completed something. This is tying into that reading. I feel like they want to unpack that. They want to unpack what happened back there, basically, because we talked a lot about the completion and what that entailed in the reading right before this one. But there's something that they want to say here. Ace of Cups with the Four of Wands with the Four of Swords. 2 fours here. This might be a 4 reading. 4, something about golf. So what I'm seeing here is this is some sort of like heart chakra initiation after some sort of like hex. The hex has something to do with your heart being like silenced or blocked off. I'm actually getting specifically this had to do with you feeling this contract the main point of it was to make you feel unheard, misunderstood, and like cast aside. I'm seeing the 5 of Pentacles. When I said cast aside, I thought of the movie Castaway, where he's like alone on the island. I actually love that movie, but yeah, the world, something has come to an end. Oh, and my guides did say this to me before, and I thought it was just for me, but it's coming through. They showed me the Hermit, and yes, I know I'm a Virgo, but they showed me that there was something in this contract, and I feel like the reason I'm saying this is because it applies to you guys as well. The purpose, like one of the main purposes of it was to make you feel isolated and alone, even if you were in a relationship or you were in a marriage or you had a bunch of friends around you. At the party, it's giving like you're at the party, everybody's celebrating, and you're just kind of like sitting there sad. And I'm not saying you're trying to do that. I'm saying that that's the energy of this contract. It could have been that you were surrounded by people that were not actually in love with you or actually your friends, or they were family that were, I'm just getting this as karmic. So I want to understand, what is this hex? Because I don't really believe in hexes. Well, let me rephrase that. It's not that I don't believe in hexes, it's that I believe we have the power to, first of all, look into what we're dealing with, look it in the eye, observe it, take a peek, and then start dissecting how we get out of it. That's how I see it with the High Priestess. Like, I don't believe we're ever really trapped in something. I believe we have the power to overcome anything. That's my belief. And I've seen it happen in my life, like, more times than I can count. And it's because I have that point of view. But let's look at this. Show us what this hex is. Why is this relevant? And like, what exactly is going on here, basically? All right. Hello and welcome back to the Metamystic Show. This is a collective timeless reading. This could have something to do with money. I'm going to put that aside. That had 1010. There's something to do with your finances that could be opening up here as well. Something to do with an inheritance, possibly. They're saying, no, it's not really an inheritance. It's your money. It's not like you're being given anything. Hello and welcome back to the Metamystic Show. This is a collective timeless reading. We're going to get 4 cards. Damn. 5 of Swords. 10 of Swords. 10, 10, 10. Okay, I'm seeing something. We had the 4s before, now we have the 10s, right? Somebody who caused a betrayal for you and caused your heart chakra to close off, or just got you at the very least to be so in your head about like, am I good enough? What's wrong with me? Why does it feel like all my plans keep falling apart? It's because of this group, and I'm seeing them playing golf, so take that as it resonates. They could have been like talking smack at you at like the country club. Right? I'm sure. But yeah, what I'm really seeing is 10, 10, 10, which is, yeah, I just opened up to the devil, the end of some sort of really challenging cycle. The 4s have to do with your stability, your foundations. I'm seeing the 5 of Pentacles again. At one point, you could have literally been homeless. I was. I had a period of time where I didn't have a place to live. Yeah, look, I just opened up to the Hermit. Yeah, my whole family just like moved to Florida, and yeah, anyways. So, Devil, Hermit. I'm getting, this is a group for a lot of people here. It's a group effort, and that's why it holds power. That's why they're terming it a hex, as opposed to just like, you know, a group. And there is a group in the 10 of Pentacles. A group, this could be family. A group talking like crap on you or whatever. This is not like a group talking crap on you. This is a group plotting. I'm hearing their revenge. Why is there revenge? I'm hearing it's something from a past life, guys. This is what I'm getting, and this is the truth with the Ace of Swords. They wanted you to feel isolated and alone, no matter who you were with, and that's the contract. Yeah. Like, they wanted you to feel, like, depressed or, like, left out. This reminds me of when I was a kid. Because I'm, like, artsy, right, guys? I'm a musician. I like theater and all that, right? I've been a painter, and I like all that sort of stuff, right? But I was surrounded by mainly, like, sports people, right? And they were really good at sports, and I never had an issue with that. I would just, like, cheer them on, right? Like, I don't have a problem with people being different than me. Like, I like it. I like being around different types of people, but the group I was around didn't. And they wanted to break down my confidence because I wasn't like them. So basically, picture this, like a group of people playing a sport, and I'm sitting, apply this to yourself as well, even if it's an allegory, it's a feeling of left out. And you look dumb, too. It's like, you could literally be freaking, like, you could be, like, the best songwriter of our time, just as an example, and there's a group of people that are really good at sports, and you're sitting here, and they're all, like, it's a confidence thing, guys. It's like there's a group here, and I'm seeing it as a kid. So I feel like this is something that's gone on for a really long time. You could have felt, like, isolated or alone, even in a crowd of people. And I'm not saying that you guys aren't confident or that you don't have a lot to offer. We have the Queen of freaking Wands, dude. This is your energy. So what I'm getting here is this contract, this hex. I'm seeing it as a thought form. It's a group that tried to narrate you as some sort of, I'm hearing a recluse. I'm also hearing something about, like, people trying to frame you as crazy. Like, you're some recluse, like, off in the freaking woods. And if you're some, like, hedge witch, just, like, off in the woods, love and light. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that because you're choosing that. You like that. This is like some sort of narrative or framing. And they're saying to me, Melissa, that's why it's a hex. Because hex is an intentional, it's like a spell. It's like a big spell, right? And I'm seeing it in the context of like a family setting here. Like they wanted you to lose, speaking of sports. Like they wanted you to feel like a freaking loser. Loser. Right? And especially if you were just a kid, guys, that's like really weird. Like that's like actually like cuckoo. You want to talk about crazy? You want to talk about mothers? Let's talk. Because that's weird. My Aunt Sandy, she's from Michigan. She passed recently. And I did love Aunt Sandy. My dad's family's from Michigan originally. I'm from Connecticut. But she would always go weird in her like accent. So yeah. Let's get like cards out on the table and then I will clarify. I said that phrase from White Chicks. You want to talk about mothers, and we have the Empress right here. So there could be some weird compare and contrast with you and your mother, or this is like a sister or a cousin I'm getting. We have Libra, we have Taurus, we have Capricorn. This could be even a brother. Even though it's coming up like feminine energy, like, you know what I mean? But I am getting family, and I'm seeing another 10. I thought this was going to be a 444 reading, but I feel like this is actually a 10-10-10 because we've had all the 10s. The reason why I'm saying that is because there's something here that wanted to corrode your basic. I'm seeing Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Have you ever looked at that chart? The bottom is just like the basic needs of a human being. It's like this is how you survive as a human being. Food, air, like just basic human. Like you could be homeless or you could be living in the woods and you still need those things. There's something, I'm seeing them taking a bat. I saw golf and now I'm seeing baseball. I'm seeing them taking a bat. Boom, 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 like a freaking piñata, like really hard with all their force at that bottom level of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I'm seeing you as a kid. This was intentional, man. And see, I love this shit because these sorts of people, they just get to loom in the darkness while we're left to pick up the pieces of our own lives and then still come out somehow successful, of course, because why would they be doing all this mess to begin with? I'm hearing again, it's something from the past life. They wanted to start young this time. You could have felt like you were born into a karmic family. And if this message does not apply to you, don't take it, guys. This is not like, oh, like, I thought they were my family. I thought they were my friends. They're secretly plotting against me. No, guys. This is something that you would have been battling for many years, like me, right? This is some sort of, I forgot what reading I said it in, but I talked about a class action lawsuit. Like, this is something that affects more than just a couple people. This is like a thing. So anyways, but they're showing Missy, this is why it's a hex, because it was like, you know, when you're being charged for murder, I'm just going to say it. When you're being charged for murder, if it's premeditated, you get more time. Like, it's more of a serious crime than if it was just like self-defense or if it was like a fight and then something got out of hand and then there was an accident or something, God forbid, somebody hit somebody with their car and it wasn't even like, it was just a terrible event. This ain't that. This is a premeditated murder. I'm hearing those words, guys. And I'm hearing it's a murder of your psyche. I'm hearing murder of crows. Your crows are trying to alert you to this message. Your guides. I see crows as guides. And we have the dogs here. I also see dogs that way. That they like bark to tell us the messages, or they bark to warn us, like that there's an intruder on the property. 10 of Swords. Yeah, this is a 10, 10, 10. These people wanted to take the bat, boom, 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 to your, right at the start of when you were developing. I'm hearing something about being 4 years old. Maybe that's where the 4 is coming in. And I'm just seeing you sitting like kind of, I put my 4 cups away, but sitting kind of like sad off to the side. Because when you're a kid and you have a big group of people and you're the only one out and you're left out because you literally didn't play sports, like you don't know how to play sports, you were homeschooled. I'm talking about my story. I'm saying like apply this is the energy. It doesn't have to be the same details, right? Like I was homeschooled. I was kind of like, I don't know. I was just like a different sort of a kid, guys. Right? So I would just like come up with these like crazy like plays, and I would like record myself with the big camcorder and stuff. But I came from like a sports family, right? And I was also kind of like chunky and I didn't fit in, guys. Yeah, there's the 4 of Cups. And I'm not blaming these people, especially the kids. I'm not blaming anybody, just so you know. I'm just saying this is what I'm getting. And this is how I felt, period. So, yeah, I'm going to take the 4 of Cups. They took the bat to your confidence over a long period of time, these people. And I'm seeing them laughing, guys. They're laughing like hyenas, bro. So tell us about this hex. I'm actually going to take the Devil, too. And look what was right under that. The Empress. All right. Let's formally get cards here. So we have, as our main message, we have the 10 of Pentacles, the 5 of Swords, the 4 of Cups, and the Devil. See, and it can't be traced back because it's like, oh, well, they just have depression or they have issues or, have you heard they're struggling with drinking and all the while, I'm thinking of a song I wrote. And all the while, I haven't thought of that song in years. It's from my album Overgrown. That would have been like 2016. If I can find it, I'll put it at the end of the video. All right. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. I gotta like get the energy in the room. You know what I mean? All right, here we go. 4 cards. Tell us about this hex. This affected your root chakra, I'm getting, too. With the Devil, the 4s, early childhood stuff. And this is a general message, right, guys? So, all the details might not be exact for you. I give outlines. And so I give energy, and then we have to kind of just like fill in what your personal details are, right? 8 of Pentacles, and we can like work together the schematic of how it can apply to everybody. Yeah, this is being judged, guys. That's why I'm talking about it, because I'm kind of like, I don't want to talk about this publicly. Especially because my family members watch my stuff, like, and they talk about it, and they make fun of me even more. Or they talk about how terrible of a person I am, and it's like, guys, You did this stuff though. And I'm not saying you're terrible people. I'm just saying this is the reality from the start of my life until this very day. You've purposely made it impossible for me to be myself without being ridiculed. Oh, we never did that. We never said that. We never. You made it impossible for me to be myself and be around you at the same time, right? And maybe you don't even realize that. But that is my life story, and that's what I've talked to many therapists about for years. I've talked to all my partners through the years for 3 hours in the car, crying, talking about y'all, right? All my problems come from that. So it's fine. I don't need anybody to take accountability. I don't need anybody to apologize. I don't need anybody to even acknowledge anything. In fact, I don't want any texts. I don't want any emails. That's why I'm no contact with each and every one of you. I just want a peaceful life. I want a happy life. I want to be myself without being told I'm going to burn in hell, without being gossiped about. Oh, she's struggling with drugs and addiction and stuff. I have not struggled with drugs and addiction for many years. Oh, she's struggling with money. Wow, she has no place to live. I own my own house. Just leave me alone. Okay? And some of you might have to say that to people. Just leave me alone. Cut the cord, leave me alone. You've done enough damage. Right? That is a fair judgment from me. I'm not looking for a fight. I'm not looking for anything. I just want to be left alone. For the rest of my life, I don't want any contact. 1, 2, 3, and 4, our outcome magic card. Judgment with the Hanged Man and the 3 of Pentacles. Seeing things from another perspective. Oh, I'm hearing that from, what's it called? Did I do that? And it's they're still laughing. They're still laughing about it. Here, let's make it funnier for them. Bring out the beard. There. Nice little shirt. Look at that. Yeah. All right. Let's really just embrace the hermit, right? Because, yes, I was ostracized. Yes, I was left alone. Yes, I was isolated. Yes, I felt I didn't feel like I had a plan to end my life. I struggled with self-harm for 17 years. My arms have scars all over them. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just telling my own story from my own perspective. It's taken me many, many years to heal, to accept myself, to integrate my shadow, to take accountability for my own side of things. But when you're a kid and you're raised in an environment where you're given one of 2 options, either conform or be left out, that's what it is. That's just what it is. That's just the way it is, right? So if you want to talk about mothers, let's talk. Right? Let's talk. Because I'm not cowardly. I have no problem having an in-depth, vulnerable conversation, which I tried to do for, my entire life in many different ways. Tried to explain, tried to talk about, well, this is my dream and this is why, and I was told, well, how are you ever going to have an apartment and stuff like that? And I get it. I understand if you're in the matrix and you only see one way of living and you honestly, truly in your brain do not see how somebody could live an alternative lifestyle like I have. I understand that. Yes, I don't have a college degree. Yes, I'm not like you. Yes, I'm different than you. Why can't you just celebrate that like I've celebrated y'all? I've always celebrated you. Every single day. I'm still celebrating you today. Just because I'm no contact. I don't have any anger in my heart, but I have boundaries. because I will not continue to go down that road with you guys. I'm sorry. And really, if you really want to talk about mothers, it's one against like 20 people. So who's really the courageous one here? The group mentality, all coming against one person for many, many years, or the one person who stood alone and now is doing well for themselves and has been, actually, for many years. I've always been okay. God has always provided for all of my needs, according to his riches and glory through Christ Jesus. From the day that you guys left me homeless in 2018 to now. It's like, okay, you gave me 2 weeks to find a place to live. Good thing I know people. Good thing I have friends. Good thing, right? So this is not about like calling anybody out. It's literally me telling the facts of my own story. It's you tried to narrate and frame me and many others in their own stories with this same fucking energy. From the time that they were kids, for many of us here, to make us feel a sense of inadequacy so that we would be either pressured to conform or be left alone. Now, if we want to zoom out, that's just the world. That's the Matrix, and these people are in it. They're living it. They love it. I'm loving it. Right? They prescribe to that. I never did. I looked up into the stars at 2 years old and knew the truth about life. And many of us have felt the same way and have been part of that same paradigm and part of that understanding. We embraced our weirdness. We understood that we were not like other people, and we found a way to make that work for us. When I was isolated and when I was alone, I learned how to play guitar. I wrote lyrics. I created multiple YouTube channels through the years. I didn't have any close friends nearby. Oh, I met him online. Oh, I was 260 pounds, overweight, could barely walk around. I started a YouTube channel called Whole Wheat Sandwich and I lost 100 pounds. Oh, she's so fat. It's like, okay, well, yeah, it took me 6 years, but I lost the weight, right? Yeah, I was isolated and alone and weird because I was homeschooled and I wasn't socialized, just like Grammy said that would be. And that was true because she's a speech pathologist and she was in the school system and she understood that if you didn't interact with other kids and stuff like that, you would be kind of like weird. And that was true. But from a young age, I was very like charismatic. Like I found, even though I was weird, I found a way to make friends. So what? With everything against me, I still made it. And that's the group I'm talking to today. You have your own stories, and if you want to share them in the comments, you're more than welcome. Card number 1 is the world. Yeah, see, this is over. This is complete. In my reading right before this, talking about that message that this is complete, that's one facet of a much bigger cycle, which is what we're really talking about here. That's why it's a hex, because it was a premeditated plan to bully somebody and to make them feel like they were not part of everything that was going on if they didn't do those exact things, right? Like I had to make a very harsh decision when it came to my immediate family, when it came to my gender and my sexuality. They just would not allow me to, and I've been out since I was like 18. And when I was a Christian minister, I just was in the closet. I'm just going to be honest. I lived a double life. Not in some like crazy way, just it was a cognitive dissonance where I had to live with this like duality in my nature where I somehow was able to hold them both at the same time. And that's why I struggled with, trigger warning, suicidal thoughts, depression, anxiety, CPTSD, because of so many years of living just so like tormented by my own mind. And that's why this is being judged, because this can't technically be traced back to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, everything I'm saying here, technically, it is my life, it is my responsibility, and we can't really blame anybody for like why our lives were the way they were and why we suffered and all that. But there are reasons, and there are original, like, the origin point. If we keep going back, well, why do you feel that way, and why did this happen, and how did that happen, and what year did that happen, and then what happened that year back in 2007, and then we trace it back to 2004, and then we trace it back to 1991 when you were born. It's like, it's all being collected. That's what I'm getting, so that no one can squirm out of this, right? Because this was intentional. And for these people, they were raised in it as well. So they were just casualties of the game as well. So it's not about blaming people and saying they're these terrible people. It's about just the cycle of life. They were raised in it, so they did it to you. But there's something here that's very intentional and like sinister. Card number 2 is the 5 of Cups. I'm hearing the words lifelong depression off of this. I am seeing some people that are part of this message in this collective, trigger warning, did end up ending their lives because of this. I'm seeing like 3 people at the very least that did end their lives because of this treatment. And I am seeing them like I'm seeing one of them, I'm seeing a man specifically. Yeah. An attractive man as well, and like he looks like put together. He's not like on drugs and stuff like that. He's like put together. I'm seeing him in a therapist's office. He has like nice hair. And he's like expressing himself to his therapist. Yeah. Unfortunately, I am seeing him like, trigger warning, hanging himself here. I had a dream years before my brother Mitch died of an overdose. I had this really dark dream, trigger warning, that he hung himself in the attic of my old house. At the time, I didn't look at my brother as somebody who was depressed. He was a Sagittarius. He was very fun. He had a lot of friends. He was just like, he seemed like a very happy guy, right? And I don't think he meant to kill himself. It was an overdose, but I had that dream years before. And then like 2 or 3 weeks before he died, it was this really weird phenomenon. I used to live at an apartment before this, and there was this dead bird out on I lived in like a duplex, so like the neighbor below me, like they had a dead bird on their like balcony, and every time I could see the bird, and it was just like decomposing, and I kept being like drawn to the bird. I'm like, why do I keep looking at this? It was a black bird. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Eventually there was a big windstorm and it blew like the carcass of this bird right in front of my car. I had this thought. I was like, I want to give this bird like a proper burial. So I put on some gloves. I put the bird into a Ziploc bag. I actually have footage of this. My bird friend.
Let's go to the woods.
And I drove down to where I go hiking, back where I used to live.
I'm sorry, bird.
And I put the bird into the river and just let it flow down. And I had this whole like ceremony in the woods. I didn't understand why I felt so drawn to this bird. I mean, I love birds. I love animals. I'm an animal lover anyways, but it felt very like ritualistic to lay this bird to rest. And then a couple weeks later, my brother died. And there was no funeral for him, no proper funeral. There's no headstone that I can go visit him at. I asked specifically, can I please have one of his flannel shirts and a tiny bit of his ashes so that I can, like, just whatever. Nothing. No funeral. One of his best friends contacted me, so upset that he wasn't able to, like, say goodbye to Mitch. And I was just like, I'm so sorry. Like, I felt the same way. And this is not to demonize my parents or any of that, but it's just like, I just don't understand. Like, they had this huge funeral for every other family member. For Papa when he died, for Grammy when he died, for Aunt, like, just whatever. It's like, even if my parents didn't want to do it, why didn't the rest of the group be like, we have to have a funeral for Mitch? Anyways, just whatever. I don't even know if I'm going to post this. This doesn't seem right that I'm doing this. Is this like, justice? Like, they want me to talk about this. They want me to say these things. They're like, you're not talking to him anyway. And this is literally the truth. I'm actually really downplaying this, guys. This is not like I behind the scenes went through like a very dark depressional period when my brother passed, and I had literally just started doing the Metamystic show at that time. And I just felt like my world was falling apart. And I had no support at all. Like, I don't want to say no support at all, because people came through and people, you know, gave their condolences and stuff like that. I'm not trying to say, like, no. I'm saying in my heart, I felt like this, whatever. Forget the no support and all that, whatever. I want to be extremely pinpoint accurate on this reading. I'm just saying, that's the stuff you say when you're in a depression. Like, nobody's here for me. That's how I felt. And again, this whole reading that I'm giving, I'm sharing this stuff. They're showing me specific things to pick out to say. Because I could pick out 1,000 things to say on this topic. But these are the things that are coming up. So take the stories that I'm sharing here, like with my brother's death and feeling ostracized and left out as a kid, and, you know, people like talking bad and making fun of and saying I'll never amount to and all that stuff, right? They're having me pick these stories so that they can apply to you in your own like version of this story. You know what I'm saying? Card number 3 is the 6 of Wands. You're gonna win this. See, they wanted you to lose. But it's like 6 of Wands, though. It's like, okay, maybe you did struggle. Maybe you did have a lot of hard times in your life. 6 of Wands, though. And that's a lot of karma, man. That's like 20 21 years of karma, man. That is a long ass stream of karma. And especially if you're like in your older years, and if you're older, you know what I mean? It'll be positive for you, this turnaround. But I'm just saying, like, my parents and my extended family and stuff, it's like they're in their 60s. Who would want to live into their 70s and 80s with bad karma? Like, it's already bad enough when you're getting older that you, and I'm not trying to trigger you guys if you are older, I believe that we will have health, wealth, and prosperity all the days of our lives because you're blessed. But I'm just saying, just in the state of the world, you know, the world, there's a lot of fear to be had when it comes to illnesses and sicknesses and stuff like that. And it's like, for you to be doing all this mess against your own family, and then the karma to be turned back around on you 20-something years later. So you're going to have 20 years of karma in your older years when you need your family members to take care of you. When you could have... I'm an aide. Like, I'm qualified as a CNA. So it's like, I could have literally... Like, I wiped people's asses for years. Like, I loved my clients. I took care of my elderly clients. Like, I took care of them like they were my own grandparents. So it's like, you threw the wrong person out in the cold, man. That's all I'm trying to say. And I'm not being an asshole. I'm just saying you guys are like that too. It's like, we could have cared for these people, loved these people. And for a lot of us, we just like didn't get like how to fit in here. Like, we tried. We went against our own selves, like how I was like in the closet and lived a double life and tried to be a minister because I thought that was my real destiny, because my parents drilled it into my brain that it was. I'm called to be a speaker, but, you know, that's a little bit different. It's not a religious-based thing. I'm a spiritualist. I always have been. Card number 4 is the Star. What an outcome. It's like this, the Star is right beneath the Devil in this spread. So it's like everything that happened back there, it's all going to be healed. And you will be victorious in the ending of this cycle. I don't wish harm on one person. Like, I don't wish harm on anybody. Like, I didn't even want there to be a judgment. I just wanted to move on with my life. But they keep saying this to me. Like, they keep repeating this message again and again in different ways. And they're telling me it's because this is a bigger message. Like, there's something happening on the planet. There's, like, exposures happening. Like, we're closing out some sort of a chapter on the planet. Therefore, it's affecting the foundations of society at large. It's affecting number 4, family, Cancer, 4th house. This is at the root. Like, stuff is coming up that thought it would never see the light of day. I'm seeing people getting out of coffins. It's like zombies. Zombie, zombie, zombie. In your head. Yeah, I'm hearing them say, like, it's all in your head. Like, this is all in your head. This is all in your head. This is not what happened. This is not the story. And yet they tried to narrate and frame you a specific way when you're a star. Well, you're a star seed. Of course you're different. You're Aquarian. You know, you don't have to be an Aquarius. I'm just saying it's a mentality. Just because this is just a dumb example, guys. You know what I mean? Like, it could have been the other way around, too. It could have been somebody really good at sports that was around a group of, like, theater kids, and they felt like they didn't fit in. But this is the difference. A group of theater kids would be like, come on down. We accept people. We love people as they are. They don't have to be, like, any one way. And I'm not saying sports versus the arts. I'm not saying that, guys. I love sports, too. I'm just saying, like, I was, like, chunky and stuff. Like, I wasn't, like... I'm just saying, like, I wasn't like that. I wasn't built for that. Or it was that my parents didn't put me in sports, so I literally did not know how to play. Like, I was surrounded by a group I literally didn't know, like, what to do. I didn't know what the plays were. Like, I didn't know how the rules worked. Like, I felt stupid so many times. And that's not their fault. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not blaming people for doing the stuff that they do. What I am saying, though, is that when I was just sitting on the side and cheering people on instead of playing, why couldn't that just be enough? Right? Like, why wasn't that enough? I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't saying, oh, you guys suck because you like sports. I love when people do what they like. And that's how I've always been. Like, I'm very supportive. I love differences. But people don't. Other people don't like differences. They don't like that you're different. They don't like that you're weird. Weird. And a lot of us have already spent many years healing from all this. But it's like I'm seeing the zombies again. It's like the ancient past life, like, lineage of people that came before us in our family lines. Like, I'm hearing they want revenge. That's crazy. Like, I'm seeing, like, they want their justice and judgment in this family line, sort of a thing. Like, this is not even necessarily just about us. So I want to clarify this. Because, yeah, this is some sort of, like, formal, whenever I see the justice, it's like some sort of formal ruling. It's not just like, yeah, it's like stuff's being exposed, guys. You know those cold cases that, like, for 25 years, it's like an unsolved mystery? I'm seeing stuff coming up from, like, 20 plus years ago, and people thought it was long dead and buried, but it's, like, all coming to light. Why? High Priestess, why? Like, why now? Or, like, I don't really even know what questions to ask, because this reading makes me very uncomfortable because I'm a very private person. I don't, like, even really put my stuff on social media. Like, I put stuff on the Meta Mystic. Years ago, I used to, like, I'm very artistic. I take a lot of pictures. Like, my whole phone is filled with pictures and little clips and stuff like that. Like, I have my own private YouTube and, like, account. I have my own private accounts that I put stuff on for myself because I don't feel like I can post my personal life, because when I post my personal life, that's how these people, like, crawl in. And I've just had to become very wise with who I express things to, how I express. Like, that's why I even have, like, the pseudonym, the Metamystic, to begin with, instead of just my name, Missy Gordon, because it's like a one step removed. Do you know what I'm saying? Clarifying the Ten of Pentacles in the world. Ten of Pentacles, Six of Wands, Star, and with the Devil, with Capricorn, with Saturn. This could be something about your money, guys. Like, your money could be turning around here. This is some sort of switcheroo. This is like a switcheroo. Yeah, look, the Star. The Star is coming out. The Star, the Ten of Pentacles, the World, and the Star. And the Star is connected to the Devil, Saturn, with the Ten of Pentacles, which is like, you know, work, money. And Saturn also can be karma. So it's like a karmic rebalancing or repaying. And I don't know what that means. Can you, like, help us understand this? It's like you're like free. I'm hearing you're free to go. Like, I'm seeing a group of people in a room and you're being, like, ushered out by, like, some sort of official person. They're moving you out toward the door, and I'm seeing you turn around, look back at all these people in the room, and this official person is like, you're free to go. And they, like, close the door on you, and you're, like, looking through the window, like, worried what's gonna happen to these people. Because you barely made it out alive of whatever this is. And I know it's not as extreme for every person here. I'm not saying that you struggled with, trigger warning, suicide, and stuff like that, guys. I'm just saying, like, we all have our own stories for how this stuff affected us. This is the point of this reading. This is some sort of balancing of karmic debts with this Saturn energy. Like, I was looking at it at first like hex, like, but they're showing it to me very practically now. It's not woo-woo at all. It's very, like, raw, Capricornian, Saturn, Aquarius. Aquarius used to be ruled by Saturn back in the day. It's like, yeah. I'm seeing something about the evolution of Saturn. So there's this message is something big here, guys. It's a planetary thing, but it's affecting us in a minor way in our own lives. 2 5s, clarifying the 5 of Swords and the 5 of Cups, please. 5 of Swords and 5 of Cups with the 8 of Swords. See, I'm seeing this Emperor as, like, pulling the strings here in the background. It's a control thing with the 5 of Cups. The 5 of Cups is right here. It's like 5 of Swords, 5 of Cups. It can't be traced back to me. That's what I'm getting. Who is the Emperor? Who is the Emperor? Justice. Who is the Emperor? Sorry, guys. I just dropped like half my deck. 2 of Cups? I'm hearing like, why am I not worth anything to you? Hierophant. You could have had a relationship with somebody. You could have worked with somebody. And for some here, this is a repeated cycle. This was like a family member or a group of family members. Then it was like a boss, or I'm hearing something about like a strict principal or something like that. Like, at like boarding school or something. I don't know, guys. I don't know what that is. There's something weird and strict about this person that's like a controller energy. Controller? What is that song? Then it translated into a relationship. Not for everybody is this the storyline, but I'm seeing this like jump, this like entity jump from one situation to another. They think that can't be traced back in this case. They think there's no way to trace that back to them, that it's the same entity that was like a family member, that was then like a boss or a schoolmaster or a handler, a spiritual handler. Because you could be literally like a star or have like wonderful abilities, and a lot of us do, right? We all have different abilities, but it's like I'm seeing this like controlling handler entity energy jumping from one being to another, from one person to another, from one situation to another. Yeah, and we have the 6 of Cups. Let me just look at these really quick and just see what they are. Because sometimes they do that to me. I don't like that. I'm a Virgo. I don't like messy stuff. I tend not to believe the cards when they like spray like that. Spray. Something about like a skunk spraying. Like, you can't escape the smell of a skunk. That's what I'm getting. It's like there's a certain smell. Can you smell that smell? When no one is around you. There's a smell. There's a spiritual smell that's going to be traced back. 6 of Cups, 5 of Wands, Ace of Wands, 7 of Swords in the reverse, the Lovers in the reverse, the 4 of Cups in the reverse, the 5 of Cups upright, and the Chariot upright. These people from your past sent this like magical hex towards you to cause this like chaos in your life and competition. I'm hearing competition between siblings, friends, cousins, family, jobs. Like it's a competitive thing. Like you could have even had situations where like a competitor came into your relationships and stuff like that, where like they came in and they tried to like steal your person, or this is like a hex thing. And look at the cards that are in the reverse. They're like, I didn't do that. I'm hearing it again. Did I do that? Seven of Swords, Lovers, Four of Cups, which is one of our main cards. Like, I didn't cause that. I didn't do that. That's not my problem. Okay, they have depression. Why is that my problem? Okay, they were left out. They don't know how to play sports. Why is that my problem? And it's not, guys. It's not their problem. But there's something here about, like, I've personally in my life, I've come to that conclusion. That's what gave me my power back. That I was able, even though all that was true and I wanted to end my life and all that, I let go of the rage, right? I processed my rage and feeling unimportant and left out in the cold and like I was a loser for years. I decided to just acknowledge in myself, even if all that is true, you still have to live your life. You still have to pay your bills. You still have to be, well, you don't have to do anything, but I want to be a balanced, loving person that has a wonderful life that I've created, right? Even through all of this, I've decided to take accountability for myself. I mean, starting years ago, but I'm saying this is what I've come to. I've decided to take accountability for myself in my life, that even if all that was true, fine. A lot of people go through a lot of things, and I'm not discounting what we've gone through. I'm just saying at some point we've got to take accountability, take control of our lives, and balance those scales for ourselves. Even if we are in a freaking depression, even if we do feel sad, it's like moving forward. Yeah, with the Chariot. But this is what I'm seeing. It's like they're saying, I didn't make that choice. I didn't steal that. I didn't cause that. It's like they stole energy here. That's what this is. They think it's not going to be traced back to them. Like you could have Trey Songs. You could have known somebody named Trey. Your name could be Trey. You could be a T name, or you know somebody who's a T name. I'm going to ask. Yeah, what is this? Because look, there's some sort of like weird competition here, that when there's competition, they can drain the energy. Seven of Swords, because you're like lower vibrational at that time, possibly even like felt depressed, or like, I mean, if you get cheated on, or you're put in competition, or like people don't take your side and stuff, you're going to feel like crap, of course. I'm seeing something. Yeah, judgment. They don't think this can be traced back to them, but there's a smell. There's something about a skunk. There's a smell. It's potent. You can't just take a shower and wash it off. You will still smell like a skunk, even if you try to take a shower. I'm hearing something about a cold shower. The Star. The Chariot. Judgment. This is what I want to ask. Seven of Swords. Now, what's that? What's that? Right? What's that? Justice. The Star. See, this is it. I'm hearing something about Sneaky Link. I heard that from Jess. Sneaky Link. Tell me about the Seven of Swords. What did they steal? What did they do? What did they steal? What did they do? High Priestess. They're like, you know. Yeah, like, keep it to yourself. You know what happened here. They were like energy vampires. Oh, this is what I was gonna say. you could have even been with like a partner or something, and for some of you it was cheating, for some of you it wasn't. For some of you it was like fighting with the fives. For some of you it was like it made you question like your worth and your value with this Taurus energy here. This could have even been at a job where you were like literally the strength of that thing, of that ship. You brought like all the ideas and like all the joy and all the fun and all the like happiness and all the dynamic energy in a situation, and were like very loving, but then there was like this hidden shit in the back end and you couldn't like understand why you were like treated bad, or you were, and I'm not saying we're perfect, guys, we're not. I'm just saying it's like, and that's being judged too. It's like both sides are judged fairly in this thing, in this case, but I am seeing again an officer or somebody being like, you're free to go. The Lovers, they tried to steal some sort of high vibrational energy. Yeah, some sort of like dynamic energy. It's like star energy. And they feel like it can't be traced back to them, that this entity hopped from like situation to situation, so it could drain from you all this high vibrational Lovers energy and give it. All right, I'm gonna end on this just because, you know, I'm on my laptop now at this point. We got the message, guys. We got the message. Closing words. The Six of Swords. And this is like my Hecate energy. You could still be going back and forth in your mind. Like, it's unbelievable. It's still unbelievable to me, if I'm going to be honest with you. Like, this stuff still feels just unbelievable to me. And when they started unraveling this stuff for me back in 2018, when I started going no contact with family members, and they did not reveal it to me in a spiritual context. They revealed it to me regarding narcissistic abuse. It was actually a very cerebral approach. They didn't come to me talking about hexes. They didn't come to me talking about entities or demons or any of that. They came talking to me about narcissistic abuse. And I started studying for like years, guys, before I made any moves in the tangible world. And then I started making my moves in the tangible world. Six of Swords. Yeah, it's like getting your confidence back, taking your power back. And for some of you, it's going to like cure your depression. I am not a doctor, and I don't believe necessarily depression can even be cured. And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just saying it's like, it's stuff that we got to go to the root to like heal all that stuff, and it can take time. But it can be done. It can be done, meaning I've healed a lot. Like, I don't know the answers. I just know that I have experienced a lot of healing over the past, 2018, and it's 2025. So over the past like 7 years, oh, that's crazy. I did a reading about 7 years bad luck. I didn't even connect that. I wonder where I get these numbers. And then later they're like, oh, it's because that was in 2018. And I'm like, oh. So I just channel, guys. Like, I try not to put my brain into this because I'm a thinker. Like, I got a lot of Mercury in my chart. Sometimes this stuff is like out there for me, and I even feel embarrassed posting these sorts of videos that are like hyper spiritual and stuff, because I have another side to me that's very logical, very like facts based. That sometimes looks back at these videos and is like I judge myself because I don't want drama in my life. Like, I don't want family members coming at me and being like, you made this video. It's like, I don't want any of this, but this is me downplaying 20 years of suffering. And it's not blaming anybody. I have healed a lot. And I have past life karma. Like, there's reasons why I chose to be in this situation, is how I see it. And maybe not everybody prescribes to that, because that would imply that then, look, there's Herman here. That would imply that we chose the things that caused us harm. I'm not necessarily saying we chose that bad stuff to happen to us. I'm saying we could have volunteered to evolve the family line where, like I said, certain people just enter the programming and it's just going to continue down that road unless one person stands up and is the different one. And a lot of people are not going to want to do that because the whole family will turn on them, right? So it's actually like you're the strong ones, guys. You, even if you were like bullied or ostracized or any of that shit, you are actually the strong one. I had the string card somewhere. I forgot where I put it. You're actually the strong one because you stood up against a group. And you didn't stand up against anything. You just refused to not be yourself. You wanted to remain who you are, what you believe, and it could have just been silent with the hermit. It was for me. Like, for the most part, I just, like, kept stuff to myself. Like, I didn't share, like, my, like, projects, or, like, everybody would be sharing, like, everything that they did and all the achievements they were having and stuff, and I would just kind of, like, keep it to myself, because first of all, I didn't want to be made fun of, I didn't want to be questioned, or looked at weird and stuff, because I was just so tired of having my confidence beat down again and again and again, and again, this is what I'm trying to say, you just move down the river, like, you are born into a family and you just keep moving down the programming that's in the DNA, that's in the body. Like, you are just going to move that way, right? Walk this way. But some of us are called to be the agents of change, and it's not an easy road. So for us, we could have felt like from a young age that we had access to this high vibrational energy. We saw the world in this like cosmic way. And then we were like, so then if that's the case and I'm connected to that, then why do these people like do all of this? Or why do they withhold even? Or why do I struggle so much? Why did I struggle with like substance abuse or codependency? Why did I struggle with that stuff if I'm so high vibrational? It's like, that's because, guys, we were busy breaking these chains, and it's about us too. We're not perfect. We're here to break our own karma. I love the reader Through Lynn's Eyes. I love him and I love his readings. And I love how he always says, like, we're not perfect. Just a real ass dude. Like, I really do love his readings. So I'm just saying, like, I agree with that. Like, we're not, it's not always about, like, oh, we're perfect. We're these, like, star seeds. We're, like, breaking these chains and all that. It's like, guys, that's why sometimes after I do these readings, I don't know why I'm crying. Like, sometimes after I do these readings, I'm just like, is this helpful? And my guides are always like, this is your calling. Like, it's not even about just anyways. The reason why all this happened is because this is my calling. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. I really do hope that this was helpful, guys. And you know what? For these other people that did this against you, like, caused you to close down your heart chakra or just didn't want to trust people, or... Because, like, all of the glory of God comes from the heart. Like, that's where the hope and truth of life comes from that can heal this planet. And if that's closed down or that's thwarted in some way, or we're trying to protect ourselves and stuff, that's really the only way they can stop us, right? And it's by, like, hitting that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like, hitting you where the sun don't shine, hitting you where it hurts, or at the very least, just slowing you down from the inevitable. That's all that could be done here. And you know what? This is going to sound even deeper. I'm just going to end on this. These people might have no idea that they even did that. They're just following a programming. And it's actually these entities that are really, they know who you are. Your family members honestly might feel Like, you're not, like, that great. And I'm not trying to be mean, guys. I'm just saying, it's like from their point of view, where you go to college and you get a job and you get married and you follow these sets of rules and you go to the Dave Ramsey class and that's just what you do and that's how you do it and that's how it's always been done. I'm not saying that that's not fine and that we can't do that and that that's not a great life to live. I've never been against that. I've never said anything's wrong with that. I'm just saying, if you aren't doing that, it doesn't mean that you can't also be this. There's many of millionaire entrepreneurs that did not finish college that have this money or that have this life. Or there's many people that were beat down to a pulp when they were kids and through their lives and didn't have any money, were broke and poor and depressed and all that shit, that end up being stars. Right? Like, how many freaking songs are there about, like, I started with nothing and now I'm something, sort of a vibe, right? So there's no one way to live life and there's not one way to do things, and it's not about wishing these people get their karma and their judgment and all that stuff. It's just the reality. The scales will tip and they will turn, and unfortunately, you know, it's... You might want to just, like, call peace on this, but it's, like, out of our hands, guys. This is, like, not even in our jurisdiction. Like, this is the spiritual courts. Like, they're ushering us out of the room. We can't even, like, say, like, no, I don't want that to happen to them and stuff. I barely survived. They're like, Miss Gordon, we're going to have to escort you out of the building. It's like, they're not even going to, like, let me stop it. Do you know what I mean? That's why it's important that's why spirituality is important, in my opinion, because it's about knowing yourself. And if you begin to know yourself and you look at the world through your own eyes, you're going to start to question the system. You're going to start to question your family dynamics, that they're codependent. You're going to start to question, like, oh, okay, I grew up in, like, a home where my parents, like, smoked cigarettes and did drugs and drank right in front of me and had sex right in front of me and shit with, like, random ass people. It's like, maybe I don't want to, like, maybe I don't want my, like, 2-year-old daughter to be seeing all that. It's like we start to question the world and who we are, and that's, to me, why I believe in spirituality, is because it's about me. It's about how I see the world, and therefore it begins to ripple out. And it begins to change how I act, how I talk, how I move. But if people don't ever do that, the cycle's just going to continue. And it's not saying that these all are, like, terrible, evil devils, but that's what it equates to in the eyes of the law. Right? You know, that's why we preach the good news. We preach the gospel. It's not because people are going to burn in hell. We're already in hell. We're already burning. We're trying to pull people out of the flames, right? So anyways, I love you guys. It's been Missy Gordon, the Metamystic here. I hope this was helpful. Feel very exposed, but, you know, they're having me do this for a reason, so I listen to my guides. And I love my family, and just because I don't talk to them doesn't mean I don't love them and I don't support them and I don't want them to have a good life, or that I hold resentment against them, because it's like drinking the poison and expecting somebody else to die. We're all just in a paradigm, and, you know, people just move with what they're raised in, and I don't really have much anger in my heart at this point, except for still working out the anger towards myself for how I reacted to it all. It's more about me. You know, it's more about healing how I reacted and how I took that in and how I absorbed that criticism and made it my identity. I didn't have to make it my identity, right? But that's my shadow work. That's my path. And part of it is because I believe I'm meant to be able to help other people move through it, because I figured it out for myself. So it could be similar for you guys as well in your own ways. So I love you guys. Remember, you can always listen to the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. EST, as well as on my YouTube channel at The Metamystic. If you want to book a personal, you can take a peek down below at what I offer. I'm offering a new reading $75. Excuse me, guys. I'm a Virgo. These readings really get Virgo rules the intestines. It really gets my stomach like upset. So I'm doing a new reading where basically I'm going to have the spread. I'm going to take a picture of the spread. And I'm going to then narrate a voiceover of like what the reading is saying. And then I will send you a private link. All of my readings are YouTube video links, but they're all private. Nobody can see this unless you share the link. And you're welcome to share the link like with your friends and stuff like that if you want people to see it. But only share it with people that you want to see it. It's not public on the channel, just so you know. But anyways, like that's a new reading that I'm offering. I'm excited for that because I like to use my voice. Before I was offering written readings, which I like to write as well, but I feel like I can add my inflection. If I make a joke, you can hear me laugh and stuff like that. So, so anyways, I love you guys. Thank you so much to everybody who donates. And, I could use a little extra support on this video because I feel, I feel very like, well, I grew up with like, you would never say those things against your family, but I'm not saying anything against anybody. Like, this is, like I said, just whatever. I'm to the point where there's nothing I can say or do. You know what I mean? And that's why I just had to, like, sail away in the boat with the Six of Swords and just be like, all I can do is just, like, focus on my own self. I can't fix this. I can't heal this. I can't explain this away. They don't listen. They don't want to. Right? And that's that. So I'm happy, guys. Like, I've never been happier in my life. Like, I mean, I struggle, like we all do, right? From time to time. But I'm just saying, like, overall, like, this is my choice. This life is my choice. And I feel like that's really what this reading is about. It's not about a hex. It's about we choose. We can choose here. We're not bound to one way. Like, we can be whatever we want to be. This is like covert contracts where you have to stay within the lines, or you're like not loved, or you're not fed, or you're not given money, or there's no physical touch in the relationship, they withhold or whatever. It's like, this is the opposite of the truth, in my opinion. That doesn't, to me, that sort of life, that is why live. Why live? Like, this is where we come from. It's high vibrational, higher level of consciousness, where the concept of love, well, it's not really a concept. It's just the way things are. Where you just let people be naked, raw, vulnerable, and just be who they are in their authenticity, and love and accept them and celebrate them. That's what life is meant to be, in my opinion. So, I love you guys. Thank you so much. It's been Missy Gordon, the Metamystic here, and I'll see you on the next one. I feel like this is my Taurus moon today. I don't know. I guess she's coming out of the cave.
My air is on. I forgot to turn it off. Please hold.
Ever after. Ever after. Evermore. Only after, not before. Gripping tightly to my core. Only after, never toward. Words I wish I'd said. I wish the timelines met. The secret keeper said, live a life with no regrets. You never could have known. The future isn't shown. The past is in the past. The now is all we have. Ever after, evermore. Only after, not before. Heavenward and heaven sent. I hope you know how much you meant. I'll see you always in my dreams. Life's not as daunting as it seems. Observing hope through angels' wings. Eternal spring, my soul still sings. Ever after, evermore. Only after, not before. We realize the change we make. Not a day early, not a day late. Your spirit lives on. So does the answer. Forevermore, my heart remembers. Ever after, evermore. Forever remembered. Forever adored.
Wow. Beautiful day. Look at this water. Absolutely glorious. Beautiful. Beautiful.